anarchist movement.
Okay. In Human Intelligence and the Environment, you raise the possibility of factory workers taking control of the means of production and autonomously deciding to break with business as usual, opting instead to produce solar panels or high-speed rail. This recommendation is entirely anarcho-syndicalist in nature, in keeping with your own proclivities. Indeed, it bears much affinity with the prospect of an ecological anarcho-syndicalism, a concept that has been advanced by the Environmental Union Caucus of the Industrial Workers of the World recently. A particularly promising proposal that the Environmental Union Caucus has made is that of an ecological general strike. In a similar vein, economic historian Richard Smith recently called for the mass shuttering of large corporations and vast swaths of industry as a means of giving humanity and nature a chance against climate destruction. Moreover, since the US military is the single largest contributor to the problem of anthropogenic climate disruption, the Pentagon should effectively be dismantled for this reason, among others, of course. How might activists present these pressing goals in ways that do not lend themselves to being dismissed as mere utopianism?
Well, let's take the idea of converting industry to producing solar panels, mass transportation, and so on. That was not utopian. The US government virtually nationalized the auto industry a couple of years ago. Not entirely, but took over large parts of it. There were choices at that point. If there had been a powerful movement of the kind that we're discussing with popular base, it could have pressed for something very realistic, which I think would have had support of the working class. Not be regarded as a strike will be regarded as a weapon against them, taking away their livelihoods, their survival. But there's something that could support them. Have them take over. The choices were two, really. Either the government rescues the auto industry at the taxpayer's expense and hands it back to pretty much the original owners, maybe different faces, but structurally the same owners, and have them produce what they were doing before, which is destructive. That was one possibility. It's the one that was taken. The other possibility, which could have been taken, and with a sufficiently powerful popular movement might well have been taken, is to put those factories into the hands of the working class and have them make their choices rationally in the interests of themselves, their communities, the general society, and do exactly what you were describing. Produce solar panels. Let's say take mass transportation. Going back to markets, you take an economics course, they tell you markets offer choices. It's partly true, but very narrowly. Markets restrict choices, sharply restrict choices. Mass transportation is an example. Mass transportation is not a choice offered on the market. Like if I want to go home tonight, the market does offer me a choice between a Ford and a Toyota, but not between a car and a subway. That's just not one of the choices available in market systems. And this is not a small point. Choices that involve common effort and solidarity and mutual support and concern for others, those are out of the market system. The market system is based on maximization of individual consumption. And that is highly destructive in itself. It's destructive even for the human beings involved. It turns them into sociopathic individuals. But it also means that the kinds of things that are needed for survival are out of the market system, like mass transportation. That's the form of economic growth that could help preserve the hopes for survival. I don't think it was all unrealistic for that to have been done. There was nothing utopian about that. Now, as compared with things like, say, general strikes, I think that's a much better step to take. It's not saying let's throw a wrench in the machine and harm everybody in the interest of some longer-term goal. It's saying let's take a wrench and fix the machine so it can function right now with all of you guys working, doing better jobs, running it yourselves. You're better off psychologically, socially, in every respect, and you're also producing a world that makes sense to live in. That's, I think, the better way to proceed in general.